Formula One begins its last leg of races for this season. We are in the Middle East for the final three races of the 2020 season. Two races in Bahrain, and then we go for the traditional season ender in Abu Dhabi. Now, both the drivers and the constructors titles have been locked up, so you might think that there is not much at stake for these drivers going into the last three races, but you will be quite surprised, because not only are Mercedes still pushing the boundaries of excellence, there is a very intense midfield battle going on between Racing Point, McLaren and Renault for the third position in the Constructors' Championship. Now, let's quickly recap what exactly happened in the qualifying session yesterday before we build up towards the race that happens tonight. Now, P1, no awards for guessing who got pole position. It was Lewis Hamilton. P2 was Valtteri Bottas, and Mercedes get their 75th front row lockout. That just shows their domination in this turbo hybrid era. Max Verstappen, P3. Now, he had been showing some serious pace leading up to the qualifying session, and there were some people who might have thought that he could have ended up at pole position, but it did not happen. P3 for Max Verstappen, he will be reasonably satisfied with that. Then we go further down the field and we see Alex Albon in P4, who has again equaled his best qualifying position this season. Now, he has a lot of things that he needs to prove this weekend, because we're coming towards the end of the season, and Red Bull still haven't decided whether they want to stick to Alex Albon or they want to go choose another driver for that second seat at Red Bull for next season. He had a big crash in free practice 3 and there were some people who were doubting whether he will be able to turn it around for the qualifying session, but he did. He managed to score P4, which is a good result for him. P5, Racing Point. Now, Racing Point, let's talk about this situation between Racing Point, McLaren and Renault. Racing Point have one car in P5, which is Sergio Perez. Unfortunately for them, Lance Stroll did not get into Q3, which means they will have only one car starting in the top 10. Slight disadvantage for them in the constructor standings, unless Lance Stroll can make some moves at the start of the race and make something out for himself. The best qualifying result for this particular session would go to Renault. Both their cars have made it out of Q2. They made it into Q3, and Daniel Ricciardo will be starting in P6, whereas his teammate Esteban Ocon will be starting in P7. Now, McLaren, who is the third dog in this fight, also could manage only to get one of their cars into Q3. Carlos Sainz had a mechanical failure in Q2 and could only manage to finish P15, and Lando Norris could only get up as high as P9. A very good qualifying session for the AlphaTauri boys as well. Pierre Gasly managed to put his car up into P9, and Daniel Kvyat put his car into P10. The second time in three races that AlphaTauri have had both their cars qualify into Q3. Now, as far as the race goes tomorrow, it is a straight drag to the first corner, and a lot will depend on the reaction time of these drivers as we go off the line. Everyone in the top 10 will be starting on the medium compound of tires, so there is not much there, but the reaction time will dictate who gets out of turn 1 in what particular positions. Now, further down the field, if we look towards the teams, Ferrari couldn't get out of Q2, Sebastian Vettel in P11 and Charles Leclerc in P12. Special mention for George Russell, who has now out-qualified his teammate for 36 straight races. He managed to end up at P14, and Nicholas Latifi, his teammate, unfortunately had a very bad session and ended up at P20. 0.88 seconds behind the pace of George Russell, which is surprising seeing that both these drivers have the same exact car. Now, in terms of the race, there is not much to look at what happens in front of the field. Again, it is one of those things. If Mercedes have a big failure, only then will someone else go on to win that race. Otherwise, it is pretty much sorted between Valtteri and Hamilton. Maybe Max can spring up something if he has a brilliant start in the opening few laps. Otherwise, it is pretty much straightforward. But what's interesting to watch out for will be the midfield battle between the Racing Point of Sergio Perez, the two Renaults who are right behind him and will be chasing him down into the first corner. Let's go out and watch the race tonight. It is a 7:30 p.m. race Indian Standard Time because the race is happening in Bahrain and it is a night race, the first night race of the season. Night races are generally very aesthetic to watch because you have those big floodlights and you watch those beautiful Formula One cars go at amazing amount of speeds under those floodlights. Now, let's watch the race tomorrow. We'll see. We'll talk about what happened exactly in the race. But I have something very interesting also to share along with this from the world of motorsport. Formula 2 saw Jehan Daruwala finish in his first ever podium position. Now he drives for the Carling team, which is a junior Red Bull team. He's been part of the program for a few years now. He finished his Formula 3 championship last season where he finished third and got promoted to Formula 2, and this season it has been a tough season for him so far, but he has managed to get his first podium in the penultimate race of the Formula 2 season. Jehan Daruwala is from Indian origin. That is why this news is exciting for us. If you guys want to, let's go and watch the Formula 2 sprint race tomorrow. That could potentially decide the Formula 2 Drivers' Championship between Mick Schumacher and Callum Ilott. Something else to watch out for. Until then, bye-bye. Thank you.